All right, we're back on sports. I'm going to say this before I get started. Last week, 975. Have you fired Mike Missinelli yet? No? Thank you for proving me that you're still trash. I won't watch you. Anyways, I want to move on. I want to talk about baseball. All right, the World Series. Because in the previous 2 weeks, there's been a number of comments that have been said, in the comment box, in the section, event, you're still not talking about baseball. Why won't you talk about baseball? I will tell you why I wasn't talking about baseball. Because as of last season, once those players got caught with PEDs, and the MLB said, we're going to suspend them early so that they come back in postseason so that we can make, because that's their money-making time, that just told me they didn't care about, their season. It told me that you shouldn't take the MLB season seriously. And that hurt me a bit because I'm a big fan of baseball. And like I said, it doesn't matter if my team wins or loses, I'm still going to watch them. But the fact that they said something like that, and for me it was like, oh, well, if you're not going to take, your product, if you're not going to take your season seriously, then I'm not going to take your season seriously. Which is why it brings me to the postseason now. Now, a lot of people were saying, the ALCS was great to see it if you watched the event. You know what? The ALCS, I'm saying it now, the ALCS will be better than the World Series. The reason the ALCS was so great and was so exciting is because you saw two teams, the Royals and the Orioles, who have not been in that situation in a very long time. Those two teams came to play. They were excited. The fan bases were excited. It was something different. Those teams came and they played hard and they hustled. Unlike the NL. Because I will put it like this. For those who don't know, who have been keeping score, since 2008, there's only been 3 teams that have made the World Series in the NL. The Phillies, the Giants, the Cardinals. Now you can't even say the Phillies because they've been out of contention for, 2-3 years now? So it's just the Giants and the Cardinals. It gets boring. That's why if you haven't noticed in this, this year? You saw a lot of people, even though the Dodgers, they spent a lot of money on players, a lot of people were rooting for the Dodgers because they wanted to see something different. But now we have the San Francisco Giants again in the World Series. And San Francisco fans, I know we have some history, okay? But understand this. This is where I get pissed off, okay? San Francisco Giants. You do this time and time again. You play half a season. That's what you do. You play half a season, then you get into the wild card, and then you go on this hot streak. You decide you want to start playing because now it's money time. Because that's what it is. That is disgusting because you hurt the regular season. You understand it, right? You got to play consistently. Now, before when the Giants did this, and we say, oh, they got into the wild card and then they got hot, it's just luck. You can't say it's luck anymore because they've done this consistently. The Giants know what they're doing. So they're playing half a season. And I understand how San Francisco Giants fans can be very happy about that. But I guess it doesn't matter to them as long as they're in the World Series, right? As long as they make that late push. Even though it does hurt the regular season. Once again, the MLB has cut their integrity with the regular season. And the San Francisco Giants are showing that. Not to mention, like I said, the PEDs. I have a bigger problem with the PEDs than I do with the San Francisco Giants. I do. But it goes to show you that only a number of teams have been to the World Series in the NL so many times. I mean, I'm sure we can go further back and look at the Cardinals' history when it comes to that, before 2008, all right? But also understand this as well. This is the reason why people got so mad, or they absolutely hate the Yankees. This is why. It's not just because they buy all their talent, because that's what they do. But the number of championships over and over and over, and you just got tired of seeing them in the World Series. You got tired of it. This is why people don't like them. People want change for once. They want a difference. The only change that we saw this season in the MLB was the instant replay. And the instant replay, it did wonders for everything. We've been saying this for years, bringing an instant replay. It cut down the fights between the skips and the umps. You didn't have to worry about that. There was a couple, but not much. Now they're talking about reinstating catchers so they can have collisions at the plate because of what happened with Buster Posey. Now they're talking about they can bring that back. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll bring that back next season. Full on. We'll see what happens. All right? But you have to understand that the MLB shot themselves in the foot when they decided with those. Like I said, I'm not going to get over the fact that they did that last season with the PEDs. I'm not. After they admitted that was a heartbreaker for a person who loves baseball. You notice I didn't really talk about baseball that much this season because of that reason. I watched the games. We talked about on Twitter, but that was it. I didn't really talk about it. Because I just feel as though the MLB has a lot of work to do. They have a lot. And you can't sit here and tell me that, I shouldn't take it so personally. Yeah, I'm going to. If it's a sport that I love and I'm going to sit and invest my time into to watch, just like everyone else, then yeah, they need to do a better job. So I'll put it like this. In the World Series, I am rooting for the Kansas City Royals to win simply because I want to see something different. However, if I go with history, the San Francisco Giants, they're more likely going to win this. And I'm not mad either way what happens. I'm not mad. I don't care. Because like I said, I'm not invested in it anymore after what happened last season. But it will be exciting to see someone, hopefully Kansas City Royals really bring their A game. I would love to see it. At least if you're going to lose, give the Giants a run for their money. That's what I want to say. And if that happens, it'll restore some type of faith I have in baseball. Now I want to move on. I want to talk about the NFL. Or should I say blowout week? All right? The Jets were routed. All right? The Carolina Panthers were routed. And when I say routed, I will put it like this. The Carolina Panthers, all right? This is the second time in a number of weeks they've taken you off my TV screen. All right? Understand this. Yesterday, because you were losing so bad, first it was CBS who did it a couple weeks ago. Now it was Fox this week who said, we're going to change, different games. We're going to, let you see the Seahawks versus the Rams because this game isn't competitive. At one point it was 35-3? That's not competitive. And this is for a team who was held for the defense last season. It was only up and up. And now you're getting blown out. Something's got to change in Carolina, man. Seriously, you have Ron Rivera who knows defenses. And you going to tell me that this is No. I'm very disappointed in Carolina. I really am. And Cam Newton can't do but so much. And I understand Cam Newton's trying to be a pocket passer. Cam Newton, start running. You saw what happened when you started running last week. You made a comeback and you won. You got to start using your legs. If these guys aren't going to get open, or if this line keeps breaking down, you have to run. There's no way about it, man. I know you want to prove that you can throw the ball. And I'm sure that we can see he can throw the ball when he's a pocket passer. So I'm not getting on him for that. But he's got to run. He's got to pick his situations out. If nothing's happening and your line is collapsing, either step up in the pocket and throw, or throw it away, or take off. It's the only way it's going to happen. Because you got to keep those defenses honest. And it seems like they don't respect your offensive line right now. The way they're rushing in, no. They don't. Speaking of Rams and Seahawks, the Rams, they almost gave this game away. They almost blew it. I can't believe that they were up 21-3? They let the Seahawks start coming back. And then near the end, the Seahawks almost won this game. You got Russell Wilson, once again, Cam Newton, take notes. Russell Wilson doesn't have a receiver open at the time. He's taking off. He had like a 52-yard run? This is what happens when you have these type of games and you have no receivers open. And then when he started running, what happened late in that fourth quarter? Russell Wilson started throwing the ball 20, 30-yard passes. Because he started finding receivers open because he has to keep the defense honest. If not, he's taking off. There's a great thing about mobile quarterbacks. All right, I'm all for it because of the athleticism. But you also have to be very careful because sometimes they can make very bad mistakes to run, or they're very injury prone because the way they're running. Because they're a runner now, they're not, they're not a quarterback anymore once you start taking off. We've seen what happened with RG3. The guy can't stay healthy. He just can't. So it's kind of sad to see. Also, we've seen other games. There were some competitive games. The Saints. That's right. The Saints and the Lions came back to win that game. Speaking of running, when I'm talking about running quarterbacks, it was odd to see that Drew Brees ran late in the fourth quarter because he had nobody open. He ran for 13 yards to get a first down. And then he didn't even slide. No, he tucked down the shoulder and he was going for it, which was kind of ballsy. And so I have to give Drew Brees that credit. I understand he threw a pick or whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, you still got to give. This guy has won a Super Bowl. The guy can throw the ball. He can. So you have to understand that the New Orleans Saints, they pride themselves on throwing more than running. They do. Let's be honest here. Look at the stats. Look how many attempts that Drew Brees has a game when he throws that ball. They throw the ball more than they do running. I think they need to balance it out a little bit more, but I can't tell Sean Payton what to do. You know what I mean? I can only say that on my team because I analyze it a little bit more when it comes to the Eagles. I can't say that when it comes to New Orleans Saints. There's just a number of teams that just... See, the Cleveland Browns, how do you lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars is beyond me. After all the comebacks we've seen, After all, there's no way that you cannot play that way, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, all teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers play, who is it? They play somebody. The Houston Texans, they play them tonight. That's going to be, I don't know. That can go either way at this point, because you don't know who's going to show up. At this point, if you looked at both teams, they're very inconsistent. The only person that seems to be inconsistent between both teams is J.J. Watt. At this point, fantasy players, they shouldn't even have him on their defense. They should be pushing for him to be a utility player. But, I don't know. It just seems like we're seeing these problems more and more. I want to talk about Giants-Cowboys. That's right, Giants-Cowboys. Giants-Cowboys. I picked the Giants. As an Eagles fan, I had to pick the Giants because I was going to pick against Dallas. But what did I say on Twitter? The Giants have a number of injuries. Dallas has that momentum. They're coming off of that win with Seattle. So they're going to play really well. And Dallas showed that they can play really well. I will say one thing about Dallas, though. And if anyone saw those sidelines yesterday, constant jawing in the official's ear from Dallas players. Des Bryant is in the official's ear, trying to tell him, he's holding me, he's pulling me. I'm trying to understand why coach isn't pulling him to the side and saying, leave those officials alone. Stop talking to them. Because they're trying to, when you are sitting and talking to an official for that long, you are trying to influence him. That's what you're doing. But I guess anything, right, to win. Is that what it is? We were seeing guys who weren't even playing on the Dallas side who were being hyped. They had polo shirts on and khakis, and they're beating their chest, and whoa, they're getting all hype. It's like, dude, you're not even playing. You're not even suited up. Stop. I understand you're on the line, the sidelines. Just relax. Relax. All right? You're giving an aneurysm doing that. I understand you want to be on that team, but look, if you were that good, you'd be on the team. You're practice squatted. Relax. But this is what happens. So as far as I'm concerned, Dallas, they can play, all right, for now. Oh, hold on. Excuse me. Damn. One take, as you can see. Anyways, Dallas, they can play right now. They seem to be a threat, but I put it like this. As an Eagles fan, and I'm sure I speak for all Eagles fans, still not scared of you. We wait for you. That's right, Thanksgiving game. We are waiting. Doesn't matter where it's at. I understand we come in your house. We don't care. We're coming in there, and we're going to win. That's what we do. But it seems like you still think because you can get all this momentum that you're so great. Tony Romo played great yesterday. Can't take it away from him. Tony Romo still finds a way to evade sacks. He's very good at that. However, he does have this same loop where when he's trying to roll to the left, if anyone picks up on it, if a defensive end picks up on that and goes to the outside, when he sees pressure and rolls to the left, he's meatloaf. They're going to eat him for lunch. It seems like nobody's picked up on that part, though, yet. I'm sure defenses will when they look at the tape, because it's happened consistently now for a number of weeks. He loves to roll to that side when he rolls out to the left. It's almost like a spin, just to get away, just to evade, the rush, the pass rush. It's interesting. But, like I said, I do want to move on. I know Redskins, once again, Redskins 11. Everyone keeps praising this guy. He got another touchdown. One-trick pony. One-trick pony still. The Washington Redskins are not going to make the playoffs. I'm sure Washington fans can see that right now. You're going to get a couple wins here and there, but you know your season is done. Kirk Cousins apparently has some type of ankle injury they're reporting. We will see what happens. So now you got, Colt McCoy out there, Colt 45. So you're going to hang your hat on Colt McCoy? You're on your third quarterback. This is not going to go well. I'm just letting you know it's not going to go well. Okay? So Redskins fans, I feel for you because of the fact that you have a number of injuries. But when you have players who are just so arrogant, it's hard for me. And a lot of those people those players who are arrogant, a lot of them are injured now. So the game is anything. But people, they can't feel bad for you. They just can't. I feel bad for you because of what you're going through. Because of so many injuries. But that's where it stops. You lose, you lose. It's on you. Okay? Now, I do want to say this. I want to talk about Giants again because of the fact that the Giants, I want to bring this up because all week, matter of fact, we've been seeing this for the previous, I'll say 2 seasons, okay? 2 seasons, all we see is players try and strip the ball. That's what we see constantly. And the thing is, they get drugged for 5-10 yards instead of making a tackle. And I'm going to show you 2 pictures to show you what I mean. Okay? This is a little bit different because you got a guy who's trying to tackle a player as opposed to just stripping the ball. Okay? So let's look at those pictures real quick so you can see what I mean about trying to create turnovers as opposed to taking a person down so they don't get any more yardage. Now, I'm sure we've all seen it. In that case, it's a little bit different because you have a guy who's trying to tackle a player and another person who's trying to strip the ball. Okay? They want to create turnover. However, we have seen, I'm sure everybody can agree with this, we have seen in the past a player one-on-one, a guy's running, and he's trying to strip the ball, but he's running up the field with the guy, and he lets him get another 5-10 yards for a first down and can't strip the ball. Tackle the guy. Tackle him so he doesn't get any further. That's what it comes to. You cannot do this. And it seems like players, I understand their coaches, they are teaching them, swat at the ball, strip the ball. I don't even have a problem with players coming from behind when the player's running and trying to punch the ball out of their arm or swat down like that, try to, while they're holding it. I don't even have a problem with that. But when you run straight up with a guy and you're trying to pull the ball out of his hand instead of making a tackle, you're doing a disservice to your defense because you're giving them more yardage. Take the tackle. Times will arise for you to do your thing. You cannot try and do this every play. And we're seeing it time and time again. It's wrong. You can't stand a guy up and say, I'm going to take the ball from you and then we're going to run. That I feel is wrong. If you get a good hit and you knock the ball out, I'm for that. If you go in with your helmet while the guys have the ball and your helmet hits the ball out, I'm for that. There's certain things I am for when it comes to causing fumbles, but this just blatant. I'm going to stand you up and wait for my teammates to get there to hold you so then we can try and pull the ball. I don't believe in that whatsoever. When something like that happens, refs should automatically call forward progress. Automatically. You got to cut that down. It's not fun to watch. It's like ganging up on somebody just to take the ball. And then who are you going to blame? The player? There's 3 guys around them, 4 guys. We've seen it time and time again. A bunch of players will get ganged up on just to pull the ball. You expect him to be able to hold that ball when you got 3 or 5 guys on him? Come on, man. And then fans get mad at the player. Oh, he wasn't strong enough to hold. Okay, he's not strong enough against 5 guys. He's not strong enough. He's only one person. He's not Superman. And that's the problem I have with it so much. But I do want to move on. Because speaking of problems, I want to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers. All right? Flyers, anyone who has seen the impressions for this preseason, I won't even say preseason. I'd say regular season. The preseason was pretty good. The regular season has been ass. These players, I don't know what's going on. And it always brings me back to last season where they went 0-3 and they just fired Coach Love. And now he's doing wonders, with another team. And you guys are messaging me, you saying, hey, how do you feel about how he's playing, coaching our team? He's doing great. Do you miss him? Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm still not a believer in Craig Berube. I'm not. I haven't seen anything that has made me say, oh, I need to believe in this coach. The Flyers tried to turn around with hard, true grit last season, and then they got into the playoffs. And we knew that there was going to be an uphill battle against the Rangers, the flopping Rangers. We knew that. But it seems like people don't understand. This team right now is not doing well. If you saw the game against Dallas, it was atrocious. These shootouts, this Mason giving up 4 to 5 goals, uncalled for. You can look at the defense, and here's the problem with Flyers fans. Because on one end, if they give up 4 to 5 goals, you got Flyers fans saying, it's the defense, there's a problem we have here. And if Mason gives up 4 to 5 goals, but somehow the Flyers, find a way to win, then they'll say, oh, it's about time that we were on the receiving end of one of these, it's okay. And you can't do that. All right? 4 to 5 goals, you cannot give up that many goals and expect to win a hockey game. You can't. There's no way. And I understand right now that, Coburn, and as far as I'm concerned, keep Coburn off the team. I'm fine with that. But for what we're hearing, the Flyers are looking for a new D-man, and they're talking about trading, he's on the trade block, Braden Shen. So, we'll see what happens with that. They're taking calls for Braden Shen to see if they can get a big-time D-man. It's always defense that's the problem. Clearly, offense, they get a little stagnant at times, but if you look at the scores, offense is putting up points. They're putting up points. If you score 4 to 5 goals, guess what? You should be able to win that hockey game. But it seems like it's not what we're seeing right now. Consistency is a problem as well. Anyone watch that Dallas game against the Flyers? It was just sad. And I say this because the way they were skating, they're trying to pass, they're doing too much passing instead of just shooting, all right? And I'm really getting tired of seeing the Flyers shoot from back at the blue line. I'm so tired of that. High in the slot. Take it. Crash the net. Take it. That's what you're getting. If you haven't noticed, Wayne Simmons is leading goals right now, and where is he getting them? Right in front of the net. Crash the net. That's what hockey is for Flyers. You know this already. But it seems like they don't. I don't know. They don't get it. They just don't get it. I don't know. I'll still cheer on the Flyers. I'll still go to the games this year. I'll still root my team, as you can see. Flyers. You know what I mean? Hat Flyers. I always root my teams regardless of win or lose, but come on. This is something, if you got to the playoffs, you have to understand, as fans or as a team, once you get a certain benchmark, you've made a certain standard last season, you have to keep going from there. You go up. You do not go backwards. I believe in Steve Mason, but right now, Steve Mason needs to get Steve Mason together. Because I'll be damned if Ray Emery's going to keep getting in, because Steve Mason was pulled. I'll be damned if Ray Emery's going to keep coming in. I don't want to hear it, man. Seriously. There's just bad defensive setups. And when I mean defensive setups, I don't just mean the D-men. I just don't mean the goalie. You have to understand, defense is a transition. That means your forwards have to be able to get back in time, and they have to play. So when they score on our goalie, it is a lapse on everyone's fault, not just the goalie. You can't just blame the D-men. You have to play the way it is. Like I said, the chemistry with passing is off. There's times where they've had a great chance to do something, and oops, I missed the puck, or oops, I can't handle the puck. And it always happens. Sean Couturier, still not sold on this guy. After all these years, and I know people say, Vent, what do you have against Sean Couturier? He plays defense. I give him that. But if you look at his ice awareness or field awareness or court awareness, it comes and goes. There's times where he has lapses where he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then he takes these odd shots to try and get goals. And I'm like, look, anybody remembers when he was in, during that All-Star weekend, and he was in that breakaway, the breakaway, score contest. He played great. He did. Where's that guy at now? People are already saying, the commentators, when you're watching this during the intermissions, he's not confident in taking his shot. How are you not confident? You are in the NHL, the elite. You have to be confident. If you're not confident, guess what? You're going to end up like one Evan Turner. And you know what that means? You're going to get sent back down to the Phantoms. Stay up, man. You can play defense with no problem, but you have to be a two-way player. This is why I'm not sold on Sean Couturier. So if people get mad at me for saying that, it's because I want to see more production. This guy was hailed as, and if you look at it, look at his points and things of that nature. Yes, he's leading among the, the people that he was drafted with. He's doing a good job, but he should be better at this point. This is someone we need for anyone. I'm saying, so you can see, I'm not bagging on him. I'm upset at the fact, I'm disappointed at the fact that he's not at a higher level at this point. Come on, now, the Flyers have a tough schedule this weekend. I will be watching the games. And I'm sure it's going to give me a heart attack. Or it's going to drive me to drink. One or two. I just need them to come out all jets. Our captain has to be able to rev this team up. We saw what happened, and I'm sure everyone knows, when we played the Penguins. You remember that playoff game, and Drew came out, and he drilled Crosby. He was like, I don't care. Get hype. I need to see that from our captain every week, every game. He has to set the tone. He is the captain. And I believe in Giroux. I do. He's a hell of a player. But I need to see a killer instinct more often. You can't just say, I got the shot, but I'm passed it off. Take the shot. You're the captain. You're one of the best players on the team. Go after him. That's how I feel. Whether you miss or not, put the shot near the net. You never know what's going to happen, if a rebound or anything. Someone's got to lay these shots out. On power plays against Dallas, oh my God. There was one time they got one shot on the power play and were on defense the entire time because Dallas was controlling the neutral zone short-handed on the power play. We can't have that. I don't know, man. It just really bothers me. It just does. It really does. I do want to move on, though. I do. And I want to talk about, because we've already started this, and I just want to make sure that I got this right. Because Griffin Force, that's right, flop of the week, for those who don't know, goes to Lance Stevenson for his play in the preseason. That's right, we're only in the preseason, and they're doing this.
The ball, there's the reach, and there's the, he thought Stevenson was going to.
Speaking of Griffin Force, let's talk basketball. For those who don't know, LeBron James, amongst a number of players like Durka and all them, they are pushing for the shorter NBA season. A shorter NBA season? No way. No, stop this, all right? There is nothing wrong with your schedule. And the thing is, Michael Jordan came out and said, no, I disagree. You know what? These guys have been playing 82 games for, God knows, they've been playing forever. Seriously, what is the problem all of a sudden that you need lighter? You know, this is to protect the players. No. This is what you get paid for, man. First, you wanted to get rid of HGH, all right? Then you wanted to get rid, and that's the thing, it wasn't just Chris Paul. LeBron James tends to get in the ear of people and say, hey, you know, because for some reason, he wants to, I'll play this. He wants to be the NBA Players Association president without having the title. That's what it seems. You can't sit here and say you're going to press for shorter games in the NBA. No. No, that just, in no way. I put it like this. It's bad enough that you guys aren't playing, and I put it like this, like Allen Iverson, he played minutes upon minutes. You know what I mean? You guys don't play like that. You guys have all types of oxygen on the side. You get all types of breaks and Gatorade. When we play street ball, we play time and time. We play for like 4 hours straight. There's no breaks other than waiting for the other team to come on the court. We don't have Gatorade, everything, and towels to wipe us. Unless you're bringing your own stuff, you don't see that. And most people don't. We constantly play. We constantly run. And we've been doing that for years since we were kids. What is your excuse that you can't play a game where you have halftime breaks? You know what I mean? And like, no, stop. There is nothing wrong with your schedule. Once again, we're seeing this is soft. That's what it is. I'm not trying to hear the protection of the players. You have the best training staff on each team, the best doctors. They can keep you conditioned. You play basketball as a privilege. Start believing in it. And I put it like this, stop complaining about it. 82 games. These guys, man, it's such a disrespect. Flopping's a disrespect, but this is such a disrespect to everyone that has come along the way that played for so long. Overtime after overtime after overtime. Stop. It's this simple. LeBron James should not be complaining about this. Like I said, Michael Jordan came out and said it's absurd. It's ridiculous that they want a shorter season. And you don't need a shorter season. All right? You have your summer leagues, which you don't play in. Right? You have your preseason, which you're still, you're not really playing hard. And then you have the regular season, which, as we know, once again, bring it up again, nobody takes the regular season seriously because, as the NBA said, the postseason is where it's at. So don't tell me that all of a sudden that this is a big deal. Besides, if anyone saw the new LeBron James commercial, you know, where he's working out and all that type of stuff, seems to be pretty much good in shape. And he lost weight this year. To get back on the court with Cleveland. He wanted to, lower his body weight. So it's like you're conditioning yourself to the best of your ability. Why are you complaining? If you decide to have cramps, guess what? If you have cramps, you're going to have guys on the side who's going to work that out for you. If I get a cramp during playing basketball, guess what? There's not going to be a guy there to rub that out for me. No. I got to either stop playing or suck it up and play. And guess what? Usually, suck it up and play. Because that's what you do. You get an injury, you roll an ankle, play. I'm sure a lot of people say, oh, I rolled my ankle, not a big deal, let's keep playing. I'll deal with it later. Even though they're hurting themselves in the long run, but they'll deal with it later. This is what happens. It seems like these NBA players have way too much. I understand they're investments to the teams, but you cannot sit here and tell me that it's player safety because we want to play shorter games. No. That's simple. You get paid millions of dollars. Shut up! Anyways, I do want to move on to the last part of our segment. Alright? Ray Rice. Now, for those who don't know, Ray Rice may be instated by next month. And I'll put it this. I don't have a problem with him being reinstated. Why? Because I don't think anyone's going to pick him up. I really don't. I don't think that anybody is going to pick up Ray Rice this season. Next season, maybe. Because, as we know, people have short memories. That's why. Oh, wait. You only have a short memory unless you go and kill dogs. Because Michael Vick's still taking that flag after all these years. They still say it in New York. You know, he's with the Jets. And Jets are going to follow him everywhere you go. Dante Stallworth runs over a person, kills him. Here's nothing. How's that work? Just saying. But people have short memories. I guarantee you, Adrian Peterson, they're going to hype it up for a minute, and then people are going to forget about it. It's just something that happens. And it's sad because majority of the world have short memories and say, okay, it's not that big of a deal. They can insult you, and you say, nah, it's not that big of a deal as long as he's putting up points. We saw this with Eagles fans not too long ago. We all knew a couple years ago the Eagles players was bashing fans. Hell, Evan Mathis and Kelsey wanted to fight fans. Tried to beat up a father and his son. All because they want Andy Reid fired. Don't think I'm going to forget these things. Because I'm not. Now, people give them no flack. You know, oh, they're doing good, they're playing football, that's all, that's it. Because winning solves everything for some reason. So people forget. It's kind of sad. Anyways, I'm done for today. Actually, I had some fun on this. You know, I was really hoping that I could show you more clips and things, but to be quite honest, I didn't see anything that was really worth talking about. Unless I missed something that some of you guys maybe have sent me. I don't know. Anyways, I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. This has been fun. I'm out.